Hi, so today I'm talking to Jenae, we've been working together, and she's very kindly agreed to do an interview to explain what the process was like for her. So hi, Jenae.
Hi.
Many thanks for agreeing to do this. Can you start off by just telling us what made you decide to book in with me?
Um, well, I saw your videos on TikTok and something just your voice was so soothing and calming, and the things that you were talking about on TikTok just hit home for me. It just was exactly what I was feeling. And I've been to lots of therapy, lots and lots of therapy. And I just always felt like I was just telling stories. And I'm tired of telling stories. I don't want to tell the stories anymore. I've told them a million times. And I just really needed help with, sorting the information up in here because it was constantly running like a program on a computer, just constantly running. And I just really needed help in soothing that. So that's why I reached out, and I'm so glad I did. So glad I did.
Here's what was going on in your life at the time you decided? What was it specifically that you needed help with?
Well, I didn't grow up very good. I had an absent father, alcohol, jail, that kind of stuff. And my mom was emotionally not available. And I always grew up wondering, like, what's wrong with me? Why can't they love me? And, if the parents can't love you, who can really love you? And all these internalized feelings of how come I'm treated this way. Um, and then dealing with it again with my in-laws. So um, it got to the point where it was just like, what is wrong with me? Like, if I'm having problems with my parents, then I'm having problems with my in-laws. It must be me. And so that's when I had to look out. I had to reach out for some help because it was very overwhelming. Like, I couldn't even focus on the day to day. It was just, I couldn't function. I couldn't function. That's the only way I can describe it. It was just, I was lost in emotion.
How long has
So,
this been going on for?
oh gosh, years, as long as I can remember. I'm 37 now. And I mean, as long as I can remember, I've had feelings of why don't my parents love me? Why am um, I just, it was just so, all the abandonment issues, everything, like it was so consuming to me. And you're having relationships, and if you don't have relationships with your parents, how can you have relationships with anybody else? So it was really, I struggled, and I always thought it was me. And now I finally see that it's not me, it's their own shortcomings, it's their own issues that they have to deal with. It wasn't anything that I did, it wasn't me, it's their insecurities or traumas or shortcomings. And
Mm,
it's not me.
okay.
So
So you've had therapy in the past. Have you tried anything else to fix it?
I've, oh my gosh, I've had lots of therapy, lots of self-help books, lots of TikToks. um, I read articles anywhere I can. I just Google a lot and just try to find any answers I can. And I never got anywhere. I never, like I said, it was just like I'm telling stories and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting anything back out of this. I felt like the therapists were getting a good story time, but I was walking away like, okay, now what? So,
Yeah. Why do you think all of that failed to get you any further? Do you have any insight into what was missing from that?
well, with me in my childhood, it was definitely, I feel like, my inner child. There was little Jenae inside of me that was just trapped and wanted to be acknowledged and wanted to be loved. And she was just trapped inside of me. So much fear and all those feelings from when I was little, locked in my room and internalizing everything. And working with you, it was like that breakthrough I had where I was able to come out of my bedroom and walk out of that house. And it's like, it was such a freeing moment for me, like mentally, like spiritually. Like I just feel like an adult now. I feel like I can function. I feel like a mom now. I don't feel like a teenager pretending to be a mom. I feel like a mom. I feel like an adult. Like I can't even describe the feeling. No words can put in the feeling. It leaves me speechless.
Amazing. I mean, that was an amazing moment for me as well. You know, when you left,
Yes.
and that was so incredible to actually experience, to witness that. That was
Yeah, because she was very hesitant. She didn't want to come out, and you had to keep talking to her. And then I kind of felt bad, like, oh no, it's not working, it's not working. But she was just really scared. And you kept talking and you reassured her, and she came out of that room and left that house. And that was just a very powerful moment. Like I keep referring back to that when I don't know, like when I talk about it, it's just like, oh my gosh, I see it in my mind as clear as day. You know, the door jam, the hallway, me walking on the carpet, turning the corner, opening the screen door. Like it's as clear as day in my mind. And it's, instead of having the horrible memories from my past, I have that memory now of me walking out of that situation. So it's just, I sleep better. I'm more calm. I'm more peaceful. I can't put it into words.
So what were your thoughts of hypnosis before you came to see me? Did you have any preconceptions, any ideas about what it was going to be like?
I've been to a couple hypnosis like comedy shows, and I've seen them, you know, and they always say in the audience to try it, you know, and you sit there and you try to do it. And I couldn't ever do it like the other people could, you know, and I just think I'm just too aware of my surroundings and what was going on. So I thought, oh, I'll never be able to get hypnotized. I have too much anxiety, you know, I can't relax enough. And so that was all the, you know, experience I had with it. But I knew I had to get inside my mind. I needed to get past the facade of Jenae, you know, and what my stories I'm telling. It was like I had to disconnect from my body. Like I'm walking around doing the motions, I'm telling the stories, but I'm not feeling the emotions. I'm not feeling who I am as a person. I didn't feel like me. It was like this outer shell. Like I had this shadow following me around everywhere.
Yeah.
Very strange. Yeah.
So how would you describe the entire experience?
Incredible. I was very nervous going into it, because just afraid that, you know, you're going to spend a lot of money, and, you know, been to years of therapy before. Am I just going to tell more stories, but it's just going to cost me more? But I don't know. Something told me to reach out to you, and your voice was just so calming and so soothing, and you're just so peaceful. And I just was like, this woman, I got to work with her. I got to call her. And so I did. And oh my gosh, so glad I did. So glad I did. Yeah. And it's just, I can't even describe. It's so hard. I'm sorry, but
So
leave me speechless.
How do you feel now? Are you able to?
Oh my gosh, I feel so wonderful. Like I'm able to focus on tasks at hand without having to be in my mind and overthinking. I go to bed now, like when I go to lay down, like I'm not sitting there thinking on a loop for an hour or 2 hours. I go to bed, I close my eyes, and I fall asleep. And when I wake up, I'm fine. Like I'm just ready for the day. Like I'm okay. Or before it's like, oh, I don't want to get up. I just lay there for a little while, you know, snooze. Now it's like, okay, let's do this. It's just, it just put the pep back in my step. Like, I mean, it's like you're like a car, and you got to take care of your car. You got to change the oil. You got to change the air filter, you know, and those things get bogged down. And you just need to sort through them. And it's really hard to get past that facade of you know, you got to get in there. You got to get into the car. And how do you do that in a human being? You know, hypnosis.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the most incredible feeling when I had my eyes closed and you were talking to me and I couldn't even open my eyes. The most powerful feeling in the world. And it was so calming, so relaxing. And it was like, this is working. This is working. Like, because I was afraid it wasn't going to work. And it was like, holy moly. And you could take a nap after too. So calming.
So what are you looking forward to now when you think about your life going forward?
Just living and not being stuck in the past, you know, concentrating on the future and the present. Like, and not rehashing old things. You know, why? Now I know the whys, and now my mind is at ease. Like, you know it, but it's almost like you just got to get in there and you just got to put the mind at ease.
Mhm.
And, we're talking about years of built up trauma, years and years. So you got to get deep in there. So,
Mm.
and you know how.
So what would you say to people that are considering dealing with the traumas and the frustrations in life they have, but putting it off?
Oh gosh, I cannot, like, you have to. You have to. Because there's things that you're doing that you don't even realize is because of your past traumas. And I mean, there is a book called The Body Keeps Score.
I love that.
And yes, and it comes out in your body. Like, I've had heart murmurs, heart palpitations. I have lots of ailments, and come to find out it's because of my trauma. Your emotions, you pack them down and they get stored in there like negative energy, and they kind of wreak havoc on your body. And you've got to release them like a genie. You got to rub that bottle, you got to release it, and then your body can be free. Like, I can't even tell you. It almost feels like that. It almost feels like you rub my bottle and my whole negative energy just has been released. Like, that's the best way that I can describe it.
Amazing. So what was the most important thing for you, do you think, in achieving success with your sessions?
Well, the most successful was getting to my inner child, because that was who was hurting the most, was little Jenae. She was never acknowledged and never heard. And you talked to her and you got her to come out of her bedroom. You got her to not be afraid. And you eased my fear from a child. So how does that affect me now as an adult is huge. I don't have that scared little child inside of me anymore. I'm actually an adult now. I'm able to function. I'm able to move on with my life and be that adult for my children now. I'm not a scared little child like my kids. Now I am the adult, and I'm able to guide them and not be worrying about my childhood. Yeah. I get to focus on my children's childhood.
So. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do this, and it's been so amazing working with you. And as you say, that moment when your little child came out of the bedroom, that still makes me tear up to think about it. Amazing moments. It's my most favorite moment of all the work I've done with anybody, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was wow. I think the visualization, with some people, they don't visualize things very well, but whenever I find somebody that does, and actually describing what's going on and I can see it, then
yeah,
really great for me, because sometimes I don't have that much to work with. So you're absolutely amazing to work with. I'm really glad we met. I'm really glad we had the opportunity to work together, and I'm so glad that it's worked out so well.
I tell all my friends, when they go, oh, Jenae, and I tell them, oh, Claire, you got to do this hypnotherapy. I'm telling you, because you can tell stories till you're blue in the face. You're not going to get anywhere. You got to get inside. It was 4 sessions to be total.
I think we got to 4 in the end, just to make sure.
Yeah, 4 sessions. And I can't even tell you, I'm 37 and I have been to years and years of therapy, of repeatedly going back and just telling stories. And you're watching the therapist look at the clock behind you, like, oh, how much more time does she have? And I'm like, okay, I'll just leave now. So, like, I can't even tell you how much money and time I've wasted in the past. I mean, this literally took 4 hours. I mean, that's it. 4 hours. So worth it. So worth it. I can't even, I would give you 10 stars if I could. I would, all the stars in the world. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do it. Do it. You won't regret it.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Really, you're welcome. Thank you.
To do this.
You're welcome. Thank you.